In our second example, we were given the equation of the parabola, y squared plus 12y is equal to negative x plus 1, but we were not given the equation in standard form. And so there's several pieces of information that we're going to find here. We're going to find the equation in standard form. We're going to find the vertex, the focus, and the directrix. So starting with finding the equation, I'm going to write what we were given. We were given y squared plus 12y is equal to a negative x plus 1. And so first, just looking at the equation that we were given, we should be able to tell that the standard form of this is going to be the form y minus k squared is equal to a negative 4a multiplied with x minus h. And the way we can tell that is because y was squared in the equation that we were given, so y should be the term that's squared in the standard form, and the x is negative on the other side of the equation. So because the x is negative, I know that I have a negative in front of my 4a x minus h. So the two things, y being squared and x being negative, is what gives us this form from our table that we had earlier. So to transform the equation that we were given to something in standard form, what we need to do is we need to complete the square on y. And the reason we're completing the square on y is because y is the one that is squared. If x were squared, then we would be completing the square on x. So starting off completing the square on y, we have y squared plus 12y. We're going to need to add in a new term to complete the square. And the way we get that new term is we take the number that's in front of y, which is 12. We divide it by 2, and then we square it. So I'm adding that to the left-hand side. And to make sure that I'm keeping the equation balanced, I'm also going to add that expression to the right-hand side. And so simplifying, we have y squared plus 12y plus 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. And so it is 36 that we are adding to both sides of this equation. And the whole reason that we're completing the square is because now on the left-hand side of the equation, we have a perfect square. We can factor y squared plus 12y plus 36. It factors into y plus 6 squared. Simplifying the right-hand side, that gives us negative x plus 37. So we're halfway there. We already have the left side of this, y plus 6 squared, that looks like the left side of the standard form. The only difference is there's a minus sign, and that just tells us that our k is going to come out to be a negative value. So now we need to transform the right-hand side to match. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the y plus 6 squared. I'm going to start by just factoring out a negative so I can get the negative that's in front with the 4a. That leaves me with an x minus 37 on the inside of parentheses. And now the problem is that we don't have a 4 on the outside. And so I'm going to put a 4 on the outside. I'm going to stick that 4 right there. Now the problem is I can't just stick that 4 right there without changing the problem. So if I want to put this 4 in front of this x minus 37, I need to put some number in the parentheses here, that's going to be our a value, so that I haven't changed the problem. And so the question is, what do we need to be multiplying this 4 by so that we're going to still get the negative 1 that was originally there? And so I should take the negative 4 and I should multiply that by a 1/4. So now you can see if I take the negative 4 and multiply it by the 1/4, I get the negative 1 that we had originally. And so I have not changed the problem, and I have made it match the right side of the standard form. So now we have our equation in standard form. It is y plus 6 squared is equal to negative 4 multiplied by 1/4 multiplied by x minus 37. From this equation, I can read off a lot of information. I can read off that k is equal to a negative 6. Since the form has y minus k and we have y plus 6, We are subtracting a negative 6 to get that k is a negative 6. Our h is equal to a positive 37. H is what is being subtracted from x, and it is 37 that's being subtracted from x. And our a is equal to a positive 1/4. A will always be positive, and a is what is multiplied by the negative 4. So now we can start filling out some of this information. Our vertex is the point HK. We know H and we know K. So our vertex is the point 37, negative 6. From looking at our equation in standard form, we know we have a parabola that opens left. When a parabola opens left, the formula to find the vertex is h minus a, comma k. Well, we have those, all three pieces of those. Our h is 37. We would be subtracting a 1/4 from it. That's our a. And the y-coordinate of our vertex k is negative 6. 37 minus 1/4 is 36.75. We could write that as a decimal, but since we're going to be plotting this, we could write it as a fraction, but since we're going to be plotting this, I'll leave it as a decimal. So we have 36.75, comma, negative 6. When a parabola opens left, the formula for the directrix is the equation x is equal to h plus a. So our directrix is x is equal to, our h is 37, our a is 1/4, and so we have the equation that x is equal to 37.25 as our directrix. So now with all of this information, I am going to plot what this parabola looks like. So I will go ahead and draw in my x and my y-axis. Here's my x-axis and here's my y-axis. I'm going to go by 6's on the x-axis. So this will be 6, 12, 18, so on and so forth. And on my y-axis, I'm going to go by 1's. So I'm just going to start by plotting the vertex that's at 37, negative 6. It's a little bit past 36 and down at negative 6, that point right there. We know our parabola opens left, so it looks something like this. Our focus is at 36.75, negative 6, so that's just barely a little bit inward from the vertex, just a little bit to the left, 1/4 to the left. And our directrix is the vertical line x is equal to 37.25. I'll put that about right there. And that is what our sketch looks like. This vertical line is x is equal to 37.25, and that green point of the focus is 36.75, negative 6.